Greetings, humans. I'm Andy, and I'm George, and this is Couscous. Welcome back to the Windmill Full of Curses. I have one word for you. Bros! I was gonna say equable. It's actually two words. The Equable. Okay, so this is the second single off of Lingua Ignota EP from Persefone. And let me paint you a picture. I am in the middle of moving house. My new house becomes available after my old house became unavailable, which means I had to haul out all of my stuff and store them in this room, which means what you're seeing now is the only viable place to put on the internet. And you might ask why, under such circumstances, would anybody choose this time to record? And I would say, one word. Bros. Yes. So we actually have two words today. One of them is bros, and the other is equable. To make that more clear, this place isn't his house, it's my house. It's his house, yes. Well, it's in theory not my house either, because I give someone a monthly amount of currency so I can live in it. Yes. So it's not my house. We do not have houses. No. We're sorry. It's 7 minutes. Yes, it is. I mean, no. Bells? He's confused. Uh-huh. Happy, but confused. Well, happy but confused is better than happy and not confused. I have two questions for you. Yes. Does this sound like Persefone to you? That's a very complicated question. So it's not a clear yes. No. And two, did you see their statement about this song? No. Okay. So they were saying they stripped down a lot of the complexity that is so integral to their sound in a sense. Mm-hmm. And I kind of went in knowing that this was going to be a simpler song, but that's why I really wanted to hear your take to see if that also came across to you, because I was kind of looking for it. But it does in a sense, because you're like, it sounds like them, but it sounds like, part of me is like, who are you and what have you done with my bros? Mm-hmm. Part of me is like, my bros are doing what they've been singing about for so many years, which is metamorphosing. Something like that, right? Metamorphosizing. I actually don't know which one's the right one. Yeah. Okay, so I knew they were gonna go less, tech wankery. Yeah, but well, they said that about the EP overall that it was gonna be. So, in a way, I'm not that surprised. Mm-hmm. What a lot of the galloping riffs sounded to me were like, they said, okay, you know that one part in Living Waves that's not screwing up with our entire audience's brains? Yes. The one they can sing along to? Yes.
let's make a song like that.
Yes.
That's what they did.
Yes.
So it's like, I like it, although I don't want to.
It's like they've kept the disruptive elements to a minimum, but not zero.
Yeah.
I like that. There are still like some rhythmical surprises and tricky moments here and there.
Yeah. And I think the way this works for me is like, I've gotten so used to Persephone's all over the place progressive elements, and they have become a part of my personality more than I would, more than it would be healthy to admit. So this is challenging me. It's challenging me because if it weren't Persephone, I would have said this is an amazing song. But now it's just, instead of just facing me with how good it is, it's facing me with my own bias in a way. Because I didn't dislike it. It was a very good song. It was very immersive. It was heavy, but meditational. And it kind of created this trance, right? And if I were listening to, I don't know, if I were listening to Dawn of Robbers, or something post-black metal, or something atmospheric, then that's what I would be looking for.
Yeah.
But I think this song did half the work just to convince me that that's what it's doing, and then I really started tasting it. The production is off the charts.
Yes.
It's the best production they've had so far.
Yes.
Mo's vocals are off the charts.
Yes.
I think it must be his best vocal delivery so far. And I think this kind of composition actually is way more suited for his kind of vocals. Because he's always had his thing with long notes. And with volume and with this majestic effect. And when you're always tripping and stumbling, it's hard to fit that in, which is why they had to segment their songs. Like, if you think about Prison Skin, it had the whole choppy bit, where it was mostly screams and just some cleans, and the big clean vocal part came on the atmospheric bridge.
Yes.
Right? So now because they went back with the complexity and technicality, they can integrate the melodic elements better and make the whole thing more cohesive. But they're losing a bit of the bro code.
It gives me a bit of okay, I lost my thought because of your bro code.
The bro code is don't repeat things.
So you were saying that they have this habit of like synchronizing their screaming to the more disruptive technical elements, and then to bring Mo's vocals and the clean vocals on the more atmospheric bits. But I feel like what this one does, it also twists the way you perceive the screaming in a bit, because the screaming comes across as more emotional as well.
Yeah.
Because it's integrated in this landscape, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't fight with it.
Yeah.
So that was really cool too. And for me, I think overall it's a bit like, I haven't had to struggle to accept it a single second. I was really afraid that I'm just gonna be getting like a watered down version of Persephone.
No,
I was afraid that perhaps their statement about the song might have been just a PR way of saying we got lazy. But they did not get lazy, because it's so refined in a sense, right? And to get that sort of refinement, you have to get rid of the elements that hack away at your refinement, which is like the really let's rip stuff apart elements that they have, which admittedly are very challenging and cognitive and evolved in their own way, but there's only so much you can build a harmony between that and the more disruptive elements, right?
Yeah.
And they do play with that by always sort of cutting through their own feeling in the songs, right?
Yeah.
And if you stay to think about it, it's not that contradictory with what they've done before, because they've had songs like Purity, and they've had parts in songs like, for example, the atmospheric part in Stillness is Timeless, that really thrive on this feeling, right?
Yeah.
It's just never been one whole long song of that.
Yeah.
Right? So, the more I think about it, the more this doesn't contradict anything that they've done in the past. It evolves it. It evolves it to the next level. It doesn't feel a need to always remind you that they can break shit up.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you know by now.
Because you know, exactly. So it's like they're coming to that point where they don't need to convince anybody of anything.
Yeah.
It's just there.
Yeah.
Right? You feel those little disruptive elements. You feel those transitions. There are few in there, but they're all the Persephone-ness you're gonna need to the degree to which you think that the disruptive rhythm patterns are what makes Persephone. But it kind of also shows you that they're way more than that at this point.
Yeah, and they are way
like,
more than that.
Like your music, the things you use in your music are a vehicle for what you express.
Yeah.
Right? And they come to a point where they're not dependent. Okay, this is the conclusion that I've been looking for through all my debating. Mm-hmm. They've come to a point where they're not dependent on technicality to sound like Persephone.
Yeah.
And that's a sign of really mature evolution to me. That's a sign of really mature evolution to me. It's like you have all those tools at your disposal that you can step into any time, but you're no longer dependent on them.
You know what's not a really,
and that's, okay, say your thing.
You know what's not an expression of maturity? The fact that after everything you've said, the only thing I'm feeling is the frustration that you're the star of this video because I don't really have anything to add.
But you added a lot. And I'm gonna say, part of the fact that I can realize that is the Lingua Ignota. Because the concept of the whole EP is the language we cannot speak with words, in a sense. The language they flow, that just flows through everything. And
it's also the language we cannot speak with fucked up time signatures.
Yes, right.
Which is why we have to speak it with...
Yes, they have to speak the Lingua Ignota with things that aren't evidently them in order to speak the things they haven't spoken before.
Yes.
Wow! That's a rant! This makes a lot more sense than I wanted it to.
You know what the other thing is that's going on through my head? With regards to stripping back on the progressive elements? If this was any other progressive metal, almost any other progressive metal band I can think of, not Animals as Leaders, the fact that it's not progressive enough wouldn't even be crossing my mind.
Yes.
But they've pushed their extremity on fucking up rhythms so far that just doing what a progressive metal band does seems simple.
Yes.
So, but it actually, on the moments where it was disrupted, it was so the Persefone I know.
Yes.
It was just snippets of it. And in between those snippets we're doing something else. I love what they did with the melodies, and I love how they're letting the more atmospheric and touchy-feely sides show. And it's not touchy-feely in a soft way.
Yeah.
It's a touchy-feely in an honest way.
Yes.
This is great, man. This is gonna take a lot of listens to
Yes.
fully digest. I think a lot of reasons why we're meandering is because we don't really understand what it is.
Yeah, that's also paradoxal. Usually when a song is very complex, I have to come back to it multiple times to understand it. With this one, I'm gonna have to come back to it multiple times to understand it precisely because it's not hyper complex.
Yes.
Holy shit. That was a rant. If you're still here, we appreciate it more than you know.
Bro, I like this.
I really like this. I have to listen to this full EP. I'm gonna guess it's gonna make even more sense in context. With the full record.
Are we done?
No.
So if you enjoyed this reaction, we greatly appreciate the likes and shares. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe with bells on.
Thank you very much for stopping by. We hope you enjoy your stay, and we'd love to see you back at the Windmill very soon.
Corpses out.